Welcome back. Well, when one local mom found out her son had epilepsy, she was filled with questions and nowhere to go. So she took matters in her own hands and started her own organization. We have more on Amy Mathis's story.
When you look at Callan Mathis, he seems to be like any other 2.5-year-old boy.
He loves trains and planes and anything that goes vroom, just like any other boy.
But what isn't so obvious is that Callan is battling a condition every day.
I thought everything was normal until about 2 weeks before his first birthday. He had a grand mal seizure in our living room.
A moment Callan's mother, Amy Mathis, says is terrifying for any mom.
When you see your child in that state of mind, seconds seem like minutes.
After several months of back and forth with different doctors, Amy finally got Callan's diagnosis, and naturally, it was overwhelming.
Later on that evening, I had 1,000,001 questions, and I had nobody to ask there. And I found that not only does Jackson County not have it, the state of Oregon really doesn't have any resources.
Amy isn't one to wait around, so she took action.
Well, here we are. We're Southern Oregon Epilepsy Group.
Amy started a nonprofit group that is a resource for parents with those who have loved ones with epilepsy. Amy says she has partnered with a local artist to design helmets for small children that will be fun to wear instead of making them embarrassed. Amy has set up a website to nominate a child for these services and others she hopes to provide. She also has a Facebook page where parents can go to ask any questions of other people going through the same situations.
You're not alone. There are more of us out there, and that there's no reason you should have to face it alone.
In all of Amy's daily activities, from being mom to Callan and her 17-year-old daughter, wife, and even runs her own in-home daycare, she says she didn't hesitate to start this organization.
There wasn't a second thought in my mind. Basically, as soon as I realized that there was no resources available for families that have epileptics, I knew that there needed to be a change, and the only way we can make a change is to make a stand and get up and do something.
And we are now joined by Amy Mathis. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And as we saw in the package, it's been a tough journey for you since you figured out Callan's diagnosis.
And so what do you hope to get out of this organization that you created?
Basically, what we're hoping to do is to be able to provide monitoring systems for those that have epilepsy. There's not a lot of ways to detect, especially with the younger ones who don't have the ability to express those early onset signs that there's a seizure coming on. So to be able to set them up with daytime monitoring systems that work in their bedrooms at night for those that have clonic tonic seizures and what have not. And just to be able to make a parent's life a little bit more easy, have that peace of mind. We're going to try and create beds that kids can't fall out of if they should have seizures at night. The helmet paintings. We would like to get events that we start throughout the community to bring the awareness to people in a fun way so we can get people interacting and learning more about epilepsy and the dangers that come along with it.
Absolutely, and you did talk about when we had spoke earlier that it is a staggering number of people that do have epilepsy, but it's also called an invisible condition. How is that to be, a parent who you're still trying to do all the normal things with your child, but he does have limitations?
Well, when you go to the park with your little one and all the kids are on the merry-go-round and your child wants to jump on with them just because he's that kid, and you have to put the brakes on and say no. And there's parents that will sit there and say, why don't you just let your kid play? And it's almost a defensive mode sometimes where you have to stop and say, because my son has epilepsy, and that can trigger a seizure, and then it gets ugly at that point. So it's hard because people don't understand it because they don't have the knowledge and they don't have the information, and so you kind of feel like that helicopter parent, but you got to do what's best for your child. So.
And I see you tearing up a little bit. It's hard for you to talk about it, seems like sometimes.
It is. I love my son, and I've already lost someone that I care a lot about to SUDEP. And when you think that 50,000 people a year die from it, and most people don't even know what it is, the sudden unexplained death in epilepsy, you just wake up one morning and find that they're gone, which is what we're hoping to combat with these monitoring systems at night, so we can alert people to the seizures at night so we can make sure that they get the attention they need so that they don't slip away from us.
Absolutely. Well, it's amazing that you're doing this on your own and you've started this. And again, if you want more information, you can find Amy's website, www.soeg.org, or check out their Facebook. We'll be right back.